Hello, I'm Angie Sea, and this is A Hug in a Better Place. And the book today is End Game by Alan Gibbons. I've just finished this book, and I'm still very conflicted about how I feel about it. I know I like it, but there's part of me that really doesn't like bits and pieces of it. And it bothers me. I want to like it. It's a very interesting story with a very good premise, and the setting's great, but there's little things that I'll get into. But first off, I want to talk about the style. The styling caught me off guard at first because it's very choppy prose, and I guess that added to the intensity, but also it almost made it like a drawl, and it definitely had a slow beginning. And it has a lot of metaphors, and it has very good imagery, I'll give it that. As I said, I still have very conflicted feelings about it, and it makes me almost angry. So the book comes from a first person perspective of a 17-year-old boy. And the 17-year-old boy is paralyzed for most of the book, so we're really just hearing his thoughts. And I guess the style fit really well with the fact that you're in a little boy's head, but that's one of the things that bothered me is the boy didn't seem 17 to me. He seemed younger, and even the picture in the cover, it seems that boy's younger as well. And another thing that really made me feel conflicted was this whole dead eyes fact, because it was very fixed on there's a man with dead eyes, and we find out who he is along the way, but I just couldn't feel, I just felt like it was trying too hard. At parts I can tell it was somewhat poetic, but at other times I was just like, can you sense my struggle here? It didn't fit quite right. And I don't know if this was bad writing or if it was on purpose. And I'm hoping it's on purpose. But again, with the dead eyes thing, I just couldn't picture what dead eyes would be the way that I'm supposed to see them. Like, is it the dead eyes on the boy on the cover? Because that would make no sense, because that's not how the book's supposed to be like. But it's just so many little things about this book that bother me, but in the same time I did enjoy it enough. It definitely had a level of intensity, but other times it was just, as I said, it was a drawl of the boy's thoughts, and it got dull. But it still kept me hooked, so it couldn't have been that bad. And I get that, and also the ending, I don't think I was happy with that. I don't think I liked the ending. I get that the conclusion was what was morally right and what I would hope to happen in reality, but in this story with this premise, I wanted something more. Like, with the title like End Game, of course, first off, I couldn't help thinking of Beckett, not comparing because there's no comparison, but I couldn't help thinking of Beckett, and even just End Game, just that whole idea in chess, it's the end rounds and intensity. Like, I was expecting death, I was expecting something more final than this. Like, the solution that Mr. Gibbons came up with kind of felt like a forfeit almost. Like, it felt like the game didn't finish quite. Like, I didn't feel enough closure, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And I don't know if I'm just twisted or what, but as I said, I was expecting death. I was expecting something more dramatic. Like, there was a little climax near the end there, but I don't know, I wanted more, and this book just didn't quite deliver in that aspect. But overall, it was good enough. Like, it's definitely not bad. Like, I've definitely read things way worse, but it's also not super memorable on top of my list. But yeah, that's all I have to say about this. I do think it's worth a read, as much as I'm sounding negative about it. I do think it's worth a read, but that's all I have to say about that. So again, this is Angie Sea, and you've stayed through another session of A Hug in a Better Place. Bye now.